everybody. This is the Totally Tuscan episode where you get to learn from start to finish John Michael Lerma's Tuscan pizza from the sauce, which, by the way, is to make this pizza, it just takes about an hour of prep, okay? In that hour, you can make the sauce, bring it to a boil, and then let it simmer for 2 to 5 hours, and it is delightful. And in that same hour, I can make the dough, all right? The dough is fabulous. You can freeze it for a couple weeks. Always have it on hand. It makes 4 different pizza crusts, and you can play with it. It's just wonderful. Add the cheeses you like, the meats you like, but this is the episode that's going to show you from start to finish how to make John Michael Lerma's Totally Tuscan pizza on your grill. All right, have some fun.
Even though I say don't have shame and jealousy, maybe you should just have an ounce of shame.
Somewhere.
At 51. Perhaps just an ounce.
Take it if you have to.
Oh my God. What's wrong with me?
Nothing. You're brilliant and perfect the way you are. So mincing, huh?
Mincing, yes, and it's not just a drag queen one.
The garlic smells good.
Isn't it? I love garlic.
Excellent. And how do we mince?
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Yep, we're going to mince the garlic. And so what I want to do is a lot of people will put garlic in garlic presses, or there's all kinds of garlic gadgets. And it's so easy to do just with a regular chef's knife or any kind of knife. And so you can save on the gadgets. And so what I'm going to do is just take one of my garlic cloves. And this is also a bit of a confusion too to a lot of people. They're like, well, what is the bulb? What is the clove? And so the big bulb that holds all the clove is the bulb. And then these little pieces are cloves. And you'll see chopped, you'll see minced, what have you. When it says minced, that should be very little fine pieces. I kind of like all my sauce and things chunky. But this is the best way to get the paperish outside off. You just take your flat part of your knife, press it down with your palm. That one didn't want to give.
Wow.
And then it just all comes right off.
That's amazing.
And then there's just this little brown edge. I'll just take that out. Yeah. And then with the mincing, just cut it down to one of the things for knife skills. Let's call this bear claw. And so hold it down. This way you'll never cut a nail off or a finger. And if you want to continue cutting, that's a really good thing. It is not to get rid of those fingers. There.
Wow.
And so I'm just going to cut these little pieces up.
Excellent.
In this recipe, we're doing the Tuscan tomato sauce. And it calls for 4 cloves of garlic.
It smells wonderful, doesn't it?
I love garlic. Now, there's a rumor and myth that goes around that, if I eat fresh garlic, that I'm going to have garlic breath, or if I sweat, it's going to come through my pores. Using fresh garlic like we are, and how I've shown everybody how to do this, does not produce that. It does not give you garlic breath, and does not make you sweat. If you buy the garlic that's already peeled in the jugs, or the garlic that's already minced and it's kind of in a liquid, there's some kind of little liquid, the jars of already minced or peeled garlic. Those are the ones that are going to make you sweat and smell like garlic.
Wow.
So doing it fresh is the best way. And so I'm going to pop this into my stock pot.
Cool.
And we're going to start our tomato sauce.
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
It smells so good, doesn't it?
I love garlic. Oh, whenever I do this stuff on the set, everybody comes, oh God, it smells so good.
That's just it. Oh, the flavor.
I saw these funny slippers And you walk in them, and it's gaiters, and the mouths go like this.
Really?
And I'm like,
How
I
outrageous.
want to wear those so bad.
Christmas present.
To John.
Yes. Cool.
He's so God, I just love that man. Now, I wanted to watch yesterday's show because my friend Christopher Straub, who was on Project Runway,
Yeah.
little cute little gay guy, he and John are going to be modeling the uniforms for the Olympics that the U.S. team's going to wear.
Wow.
And I'm like, hello!
So this is the start of your tomato sauce, right?
Yep. And we're going to put this on about a medium.
Okay. Very good.
And I've got olive oil in there and our garlic. And we want to cook the garlic and just make it fragrant and golden. We want to watch it. This isn't one of those set it and forget it.
Okay, so you
Because-
want to watch.
Yeah, because if we did that, what could happen is, and it turns very quickly, it can burn. So we're going to just wait until it starts to sizzle. And if it burns, garlic gets so bitter.
Oh, does it?
And the taste, it will be in your final product too. So you never
Okay.
want to burn it.
No.
If you do burn it, start over. Honest. If you don't start over, you'll really taste it.
And it's not the flavor you were going for.
Not at all.
So I heard a rumor that there's a
Yes.
storefront coming up.
Here's a storefront coming up.
Yay!
Yes.
Tell us.
So it looks like in August of 2012, my company, Garden County Cooking, will be able to feature our products, my cookbooks, vanilla bean paste, our gurgle pots, the non-stick hamburger presses that you can make like Juicy Lucy's at home.
Oh, excellent.
Our honey butter, the gourmet honey butter, I think you tried that.
That's
once.
wonderful.
We have these personalized thermometers for the grill or stovetop.
Oh,
They
yes.
don't have numbers, but rather tell you if it's rare, medium, or well done. And
They are phenomenal.
Yeah, mini pie
And there's
tins.
actually 4 of them.
Yes, and
So when you're
different
having
colors.
guests over, they usually say, well, I'd like my medium or medium
Yeah.
well, and I have no idea what that means.
Well, and
So I just
also,
pop this little thing in.
if you have 4 burgers
Yeah.
or 4 steaks, this way they're all color coded too. So one person be yellow, one person be blue. That way you won't lose whose is whose.
Cool.
So I like that. I really like that too.
Excellent.
So we're coming up with all kinds of products, and we're going to continue introducing products. But now we have a storefront where people can come in, touch the product, look at it.
Yeah.
Instead of us all, we have always just had an online presence.
Right.
And so of course it's going to save shipping too.
Woo!
Plus we do classes and private events and all the fun stuff there.
And you can find out about all that if you go there too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh gosh, yeah. And I'll be there. I'll even sign my books live.
Cool.
Do you hear the sizzle?
Oh, we better check it out.
I'm hearing sizzle. And this is when you have to rewatch it. It's sizzling now. You have a nice sizzle.
Oh, it smells good.
Yeah, and you can really smell it there. Yep, this is the point where it can go very quickly, and it can turn brown and then straight to copper and black.
Oh, gosh.
And it'll stink up your house. It turns bitter, and if you're really worried about like, oh, what's golden, what's ready.
Yeah?
At this point, our garlic's heated. You
Okay.
can smell it throughout.
I can.
Yeah. So if you're nervous about that, right now it's sizzling, it's heating it. Add your tomatoes. And here we're going to add 12 cups of tomatoes. You can chop your own Romas if you like. Or you can do the canned tomatoes and do 12 cups, as long as you do 12 cups.
Cool.
You can put in whole tomatoes. I like to do the diced. Again, I like a chunkier sauce. And now this sauce is great for pizzas. It's great for your pasta dishes. It freezes well. It refrigerates well.
Oh,
It's
that's a great
just
idea.
Wonderful.
In everybody's busy life, if you can have something in the freezer
Right.
that's ready to made, yeah.
And again, if you don't want to make your own sauce, there's nothing wrong with store-bought. I always say that on Twin Cities Live, Food Network, on FM 107, it's no sin to buy store-bought. So, now we're going to bring that to once that starts to boil, I've turned our heat up.
Okay.
And we're going to bring that to a boil, and then we're going to add some wine, some other really yummy little spices.
Excellent. Excellent.
Cool beans. Oh, and I am teaching at the Chef's Abode, all incorporated in St. Paul.
Okay.
Nordic Wear over in St. Louis Park. But again, doing private events or private parties, as we call them, I go into corporations, into your boardrooms, into the office, or into your home. I just did a couple birthday parties last week and last weekend, where I come into your home and we'll come up with a menu for you. There was one gal, we did salsa. We made salsa in the house, then we canned it, water bath canned it.
Wow.
And everyone got to take jars of salsa home.
Sweet.
Or we did an Italian menu. And I mostly did all the cooking while everyone mingled and ate appetizers and drank wine.
That's my kind of way of cooking.
And I bring my staff in, and our motto is that when you bring us in, we leave and you'll not even know we were there, but you're going to have a lot of good leftovers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because we even wash the dishes.
Oh my gosh.
And take care of everything. We bring everything in, we do the menu planning with you, the grocery shopping, serving, the cooking, or if you want a little participation, we'll do participation cooking and help you.
Excellent.
I orchestrate and instruct it. And then again, we clear everything off, we wash the dishes, pack everything away, go, and leave you with the leftovers.
Now, if someone is interested, they should go online, or what's the best way to reach you?
Garden County Cooking.
Okay.
Yep, our website, gardencountycooking.com.
Okay.
And everything's there, and we're constantly renewing because we also have a new relationship with a website called chefmixer.com, which is the TripAdvisor for food, cooking, specialty food shops, and cooking schools. And it's now it was just rolled out in the Twin Cities, and it's now being rolled out nationwide. Wow. And eventually it will be worldwide. So this is going to be interesting. So we're merging with them. So you're going to see my events page and my culinary classes page disappearing.
Okay.
And you're going to have a one-stop shop at Chef Mixer. But we'll have that on my website.
Nice.
At gardencountycooking.com. The recipe page is going to be disappearing.
Okay.
Because we have a blog, and all recipes will be on the blog, which I'm currently doing the National Food of the Day.
Okay, cool.
And with a recipe or some information. And then any of my other recipes that we do will be on there also. Or if I do a recipe on Twin Cities Live or do a recipe with you, it'll be on the blog.
Sweet.
And they can look it up.
Sweet.
So even with this, what we'll have is, what we could do is like Tuscan tomato sauce, and then one of the other tags will be Nancy boards. And you can go onto the blog and just type that in and get the recipes.
Cool. How exciting.
We're streamlining, and I'm trying to catch up. I mean, it's, August almost of 2012, and I just got an iPhone. So, I just graduated from the Razor. But all of the social media and everything is making this so accessible to everyone.
How phenomenal.
I just signed a contract now for electronic data for my books and stuff.
Wow.
And it talks about that they have the rights for inventions not yet invented.
The heck?
And then also the rights not just in the US, but for the universe.
The universe?
And so it's like, okay, I need to catch up.
I'm going to be on Pluto.
Yes. So when we're big hit on Pluto, the rights are covered, all is good.
So electronic, so you can be found on Kindle or stuff like that too, right?
Yep, you can
People can buy your books.
Kindle, which is Amazon.com,
Okay.
and then the Nook, which is Barnes & Noble.
Oh, it's compatible with
You can
either
also
or?
purchase the Kindle version and then download the Kindle Reader on your computer or your iPad and then read me on there too.
Sweet.
And it's nice because you can do the different fonts. You can take the old cookbook protector, those plexiglass protectors, and put your iPod or your Kindle behind there and do our recipes.
Sweet.
Yeah. And so soon, my publisher wants to do little snippets, like 2 or 3 minutes, where, say it's a pie crust, and you can just push this button, and I come on, it's like, okay, here are my secrets and tips for making the perfect pie crust.
Wow.
And then
Phenomenal.
And then I go away, and you continue reading your recipe and doing it yourself.
Sure.
And then, hopefully by Christmas of 2012, this is a whole new thing, online cooking classes. So I'll stand like this and I'll talk to you, and I'll have the ingredients, and I'll make it with you. You'll be on the other side of a laptop with a friend or two.
Yeah, right here.
And you'll be able to ask me questions.
Oh my God.
And such, and I'll be just like, okay, now try it this way or try it this way. So it's going to be a one-on-one.
Wow.
So you won't need to live in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. You could live on the island of Kauai, and I can do an online class with you.
Sweet. Sweet. How phenomenal and mind-blowing.
Totally.
Wow.
Well, let's see how our tomatoes are doing. We've got some simmer going. And again, it's really good to get those juices in because that way that stops any kind of burning of the garlic.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And we want to get that boiling, and then we're going to add all sorts of good things.
Ooh.
That will make the perfect sauce. And of course, we're doing this on TV, but the best way to do this is slow. So we're kind of rushing it through. The longer you cook it, the better. And what we want to do is cook it for hours to get rid of a lot of the moisture, but we're going to kind of speed it up.
Cut that down just
right. And we have to do that, for time constraints. But after being in Italy, and you were there too.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. Sauces, the longer the sauce. And when I say simmer a sauce for hours, it's not little bubbles, it's one bubble, two bubble. You turn it down so low, and then stir it occasionally, and reduce it, and all these wonderful flavors meld together, and you get the richest, most incredible sauces.
Wow, you've done your research.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You went to Italy.
Yeah.
A few times.
Oh, and I make this
You know.
one meat ragu that the longer it cooks, and my friend Graziella said it should look like little jewels. And when it does, it's so good.
Oh wow, she knows.
Yeah. But now this one, again, cook it slow and you get a nice thick tomato sauce. You can use a blender, food processor, hand immersion, and make it as smooth or as chunky as you want.
Okay, yeah.
And again, we can store it in the fridge in a nice covered container.
Cool.
Or put it in a plastic container, or now mason jars. Come in both regular canning and freezer jars. So you don't fill them all the way up. Put them in your freezer, because liquid will expand and usually cracks jars.
Okay.
These have been built so they can actually freeze.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm really thrilled about that.
Good stuff out there.
And they have those at any of the Fredoloni's Ace Hardwares.
Okay.
I call them Canning Central. But I love this because I love mason jars for storing and canning.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't, use a plastic Rubbermaid or Glad or something, but make sure it's expandable.
Okay.
You don't want to clean tomato sauce out of your freezer.
Freeze it up.
But if you do that, you can usually store it for a good 6 months to 9 months in the freezer.
Cool.
Probably 3 weeks in the refrigerator.
Okay. Good to
You
know.
know, some people have food vacuums, and if you do put it in the food vacuum in the bag, of course you want to stand your bag up, vacuum out the air. That will make it last up to 2 years if you don't open it in the freezer.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Very cool.
but you know what? The sauce has never lasted 2 days because we use it up so
good.
fast. So
Yes.
when I always say, yeah, it can last 2 years.
Yeah.
Like it ever will.
Not in my kitchen. It's
Not. Now that looks good. It's starting to.
Zoom in a little.
Yep, and it's going to start to boil here in just a little bit. And we're going to add some fun things. Plus, I'm going to send you the secret recipe of this. Now, in my first cookbook, I have the recipe. And look at how beat up my first cookbook is. I mean, it's so beat up. And I have all these other things.
It's so incredible.
Stories, food stories, people give me recipes.
Oh,
And
sweet.
stuff. Yeah, I love it. Last night I was doing a class and it was Spanish tapas, but the woman brought me a shoe fly pie recipe from North Carolina.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
How phenomenal to be
But
sharing like
this
that.
Tuscan tomato sauce is wonderful. But a friend of mine, Franco Sala, from Civita in Italy, makes almost the same sauce, but adds 2 extra little things, and it makes it so much better.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I will share that with your viewers. Yep. This is keeping up nicely. Now, the one thing about this is also what you have in your pantry. And you learn that, and I learned that in Italy, if it's not in your pantry, well, then you're probably out of luck.
Yes.
There are no 24-hour stores. There are no big giant supermarkets like Rainbow and Cub.
No.
Little markets and
No 24-hour.
nothing, no delivery. So if it's in your pantry, sometimes you might have to make substitutions, whatnot. It's also good to know your metric system.
Oh boy.
And I wish I would have listened better in 6th grade because my first trips to Italy were just torturous. They were so terrible. Oh my gosh, I was so terrorized. You know, by little old ladies that were holding eggplants and pushing me out of the way because I couldn't say my numbers and metric in Italian fast enough.
I know.
Oh, it was embarrassing. And you know, this one, honest, she must have been like 90, between 90 and death.
Oh God.
And she was pushing me. She just wanted to buy her little eggplant. And I had all these orders.
On our way.
And I was trying to say, mezzo kilo prosciutto crudo, por favor, eh? It's already noon, you know. It's
I remember I went there to buy my mom a purse.
Yes!
And I had no idea how to say, how much does it cost? Or could I have change? He just took my money and gave me the purse. I
think
my mom
that's-
better appreciate it. So you can help to learn a little bit of Italian before you go.
Yeah. Quanto costo. You know what? Rick Steves has a nice little book.
Oh, Rick Steve.
He even has something on his online website, Rick Steves, that you can print out most common phrases used.
Because he travels and emails you
Yeah,
too.
bathrooms. You don't ask for the bathroom. It's not bagno, and it's the WC.
Oh, really?
Yes. It sounds like
I would never have guessed
It
that.
sounds like a television station. Yes, where's the WC?
The WC.
Isn't it over on Como Avenue and Snelling? You know, it's water closet.
Wow.
But even in Italian, WC is WC.
Wow.
And it's the water closet.
No idea.
And
Very important information.
if you've ever been to Italy, they're the size of a closet.
Oh my.
Oh, I've been in some where this is bigger than the bathroom. So I'm like, oh, I see why you call them closets now. Yeah, I've stayed at some even B&Bs where
Yeah.
the toilet is actually a shower. You just lift everything and you stand over it, and it's just okay.
My. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but that's what I usually call the Turkish toilet. If you ever seen Midnight Express, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, time to add some vino,
Vino.
which is Italian for wine. Now this calls for red wine, but guess who's out of red wine? I am. So I have a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc,
Wonderful.
and I'm going to use it.
Yeah, what the
Because
heck?
we're not going for the alcohol content or anything like that. When it's bubbling like this, it's going to take out the alcohol, and we're getting the flavor. And this is a really good wine to cook with, whether you're doing anything from steaks to mushrooms to what have you. And if you don't have red, don't freak out. Throw in some white. It's again, we're getting some good taste. And I never have measuring cups handy whenever I need them. So I'm going to eyeball 1 cup of wine.
Very cool.
And we'll pop that in. And we want to put it way down there. We don't want it to splash up because of the alcohol content. If it would splash up in some areas and I was using gas, it might ignite. And then we'd have tomato sauce flambé. Oh, I was on TV. This was so embarrassing. But I don't think the audience knew that there was anything wrong. And I was adding some things, and my co-host, who will remain nameless, but I think we all know who he is, added the wine and didn't realize that it was splashing. He was doing it haphazardly. Well, you know, and having fun. We always have so much fun on TV.
Yes.
All of a sudden, whoosh, it was like a mushroom cloud of fire.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's supposed to happen? I'm like, sure. And I just quickly grabbed the top of the kettle and covered it because, of course, get rid of the oxygen, get rid of the fire. And I'm like, yeah, that burns the alcohol off. You know, as my eyebrows are smoking.
Oh gosh.
So-
Life on the set, huh?
And you have to be so ready when it's live.
Oh,
Oh, God.
I can't imagine.
The things that have happened, you know.
It's gotta be intense.
Well, I did Care 11. I'm doing something with Belinda. And Perk is just ADD, so attention
wow.
deficit.
Okay.
And he was
Knowing all
jumping
that.
around on the set and just doing all kinds of stuff. And the sets are fake, so of course, you know, there was this shelf that was fake, and there was a big vase on, comes crashing
Oh
down.
no.
And we're live. And it's not subtle.
No. Crash.
Okay, now this is where I'm going to add, put in some red pepper flakes. This is where you want to be careful because this is only about a teaspoon.
Okay.
And I'm going to eyeball it.
Okay.
Now, if
very
you
good.
want more heat, this is where you're going to get your heat.
Okay.
Red pepper flakes will, and that's about a teaspoon.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can add more later.
Oh,
I
sure.
always say these are the suggested measurements. And put in what's in there and then taste it afterward.
Okay.
One of the things I
Good
like to
advice.
do, I tell people to go to IKEA
Yeah?
and buy a bunch of spoons. They're really cheap spoons. Get lots of them. And put them in some kind of a container or a crock or mason jar.
Yeah.
Have them near here so you can always taste your sauces
Oh, good idea.
and things. And I get so many emails from people saying, well, when I served it, it was so salty. Well, what did it taste like when it was finished? I never tasted it. Or this or that. So this way you can taste it, and then you can adjust how you like it.
That's sweet.
If it's a big crowd, then I say under pepper, under salt it.
Okay.
Because everyone has different requirements and tastes, and you can always pass that around.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's not going to be a big deal. Now, here's the part that's not in the first cookbook. These are the FargO Sala secrets that add to this. And while I'm putting in one of them, I might need a little sugar.
Sugar. We got sugar. You betcha.
I forgot my sugar. Now this really is a great way to spice it up and flavor it up. And I had no idea. Perfect. Well, you know what?
You know, I have
That's
never
enough.
tasted. I have never tasted my
Yeah.
food before. And it turns out to be a big surprise.
Gee,
sometimes.
Charlotte.
That was
I
really
love that. I really did like it. It was so cheesy.
Oh,
Excuse me, bread, cheese, and all sorts of other things that it hankered to my. I'm from North Dakota next, so it was just wonderful.
oh, it's my first unreal disaster.
Okay. Now these are the secrets, and this will be in the recipe I send you.
Cool. Excellent.
And it's great because he put in some chicken bouillon, or like you can get the chicken flavor shaker. All this is
okay.
just really kind of granulated broth.
Excellent.
If you have broth, so be it, but you're just going to have to boil it a little bit longer.
Okay.
And
Very
so in this, again, I'm going to put, usually if you have cubes, it would be about 2 cubes.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the equivalent of 2 cubes, or this is about a good full teaspoon, or tablespoon, excuse me. So 1 little tablespoon. This is going to flavor it up. So it's chicken, granules or chicken cubes, broth cubes. Add that in, and then sugar. And this is the part I didn't know. And this is about 2 tablespoons of sugar.
Okay.
And what that does, it cuts the acid of the tomatoes down. So it's not as acidic.
Huh.
And it makes a much smoother sauce. And the flavor will be so enhanced, you won't believe it. So we'll give that a good stir. And then we'll add our salt and pepper.
Okay.
I'm going to throw in some sea salt. And again, I want to undersalt. So usually I put about a tablespoon. Now I'm going to do about a teaspoon. And then again, pepper. And you can use your regular household pepper,
Okay.
regular household salt. And then I'm going to add some oregano. And if you have, I have some ground oregano because my fresh is all out.
Gone.
So I'm going to add
Use
that
up.
in. And that's about a good teaspoon of oregano, or as we call it in Italy, oregano.
Oregano.
I love that.
Love it.
Half a teaspoon of some thyme or French thyme, doesn't
Ooh.
matter. Yes. And then I noticed you have some basil plants.
Oh, sure.
Could
Should
I
Yeah,
have
let's do
a
this.
couple of your, like 2 or 3 basil leaves.
Excellent.
Bring that down. Yeah, good boil going.
Rip them off.
Yeah. Yeah, we just want the leaves, not the stems.
Should I rinse it real quick?
Sure.
Just in case.
That's always good.
I don't use pesticides, but you don't want that flavor in either. Smells so good.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Then what I like to do is curl them up.
Get this on film.
We'll curl up our leaves. And then I just kind of roll them like a cigar and just tear them.
Nice.
And we'll put into the sauce. And just tear them up and tear them up. Now basil, you never want to put on your pizza in the oven.
Okay.
It'll turn black and turn into a charred mess.
Okay.
So you want to bring your pizza out of the oven.
Okay.
And then add your basil.
Okay, good secrets.
Yeah. So basil is yummy, but it can be really temperamental if you bake it.
Now, where is your basil
pesto recipe? That's in your first one,
That's
right?
also my first book.
Okay, that is another one. Another good reason to get both books. Really, so much good stuff.
And
that was
now-
so easy. And
Yep.
the flavor, oh my gosh.
People are growing, excuse me for sweating, people are growing basil by the bushel.
Wow.
And one of the things that I've been telling everyone is make your favorite pesto recipe,
Okay.
put it into ice cube trays, freeze it, and then pop them out. Once they're frozen, pop them out and put them in Ziploc bags and freeze them. Then if you want to make pizza, you just thaw them out, spread over your pizza crust
Oh,
with
I
a little
love that
olive
idea.
and cheese.
In the cubes.
Now, another thing, if you want pesto spaghetti,
Yeah.
boil your spaghetti, drain it, drop a couple of the cubes in there, toss it. The heat from the spaghetti will melt the cubes, and you'll have a wonderful pesto pasta. And then you can just sprinkle some Parmesan.
Cool.
And you're set.
Good to go.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to let this just keep cooking down
Okay.
for a little bit. I'm going to let it simmer, and then we will show them the finished sauce.
Excellent. Excellent.
So that'll be about 15 minutes.
Excellent. So, we'll see you a little later.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Oh, that smells great, Don Michael Lerma.
Yes, it does. And what I'm doing, you can use a potato masher. If you want, you can pour this into your food processor or blender. I'm just taking this flexible slotted spatula and just pressing down slowly, because if you do it really quick, you're going to splash yourself with hot tomato juices, and it's just not good. And if you have a hand immersion blender, you can also put that in too and just kind of.
Oh, sure.
And you can make this as thick or as smooth as you want. Again, I like my sauces a little thicker, a little chunkier, so I'm going to keep it about like this.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just keep
Is this
pressing
the
it down.
kind of blender you're thinking?
That's
something
an
smart.
immersion blender, yep. I love those for soups and for sauces and for making smoothies and malts and shakes. And once you cook your tomatoes, this is a good time. Once your tomatoes have been cooking for a while, they get really soft, so it's easier to do this.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to do that right away because, they just get very soft.
Cool.
And it's just so much easier to do this. And so what I'm going to do now is turn this off
Okay.
and let this cool, because we don't want to use this on pizza dough, or it kind of melts the pizza dough. So we want it at a good room temperature.
Okay, very good.
And we're going to let this cool down, and then put this on. This will be our base for our pizza that we're going to do later,
Wonderful.
which is a wonderful rosemary, Italian salami, and mascarpone pizza.
Ooh, stay tuned for that.
Yes, it's really quite yummy.
Excellent. So we'll see you later. Here's our pie cutter. We have a pie cutter?
Triangular shaped thing?
You know, sometimes I put things over here. And I don't know what they are. Yeah, these?
Yeah.
The Norski one, or
No, that
the
one.
Huda Huda Shoot.
Huda huda. Oh,
C.
do you want to? Oh, let's see. No.
C.
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 Okay, come on, everyone.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
just be in here.
Yes. B.
B.
Or D in here.
I'm in the middle because I was B and you're.
Oh, A.
I'm You're triple D.
definitely an A
No,
minus.
no. Okay, A minus. Oh! Oh!
You're
Okay.
watching the Nancy Boys.
You're not in.
You're watching the Nancy Boys.
You're watching the Nancy Boys.
You're watching the Nancy Boys.
Can you believe that cow? No.
No! Okay.
Wait for the pause.
So let's all get in frame.
Hey, John Michael Lerma.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Good.
I hear you know how to make some pizza dough.
Pizza dough.
Whoa.
This also makes a really good focaccia or like Italian flatbread.
Wow.
And a lot of my recipes that I start them off with, you'll see it asks for a sponge or poolish, which is kind of like a sourdough starter.
Okay.
And that's in the recipe packet also. And I usually start that the night before in a nice container that you can close tightly. And it's 2 cups of flour,
Okay.
2 cups of water, and just a smattering of yeast.
Okay.
Stir that up, cover it tightly, let it sit overnight. It'll be all bubbly and smell yeasty.
I remember you making that in Italy.
Yeah. Oh, I
Come
love
down in
it.
the morning and it's kind of exploded.
It gives all your bread doughs and pizza doughs and any kind of dough just extra texture and flavor. We're not going to be doing one today, but I'm going to show you how to make the
Refer
regular dough.
to the first book. Very
Yes,
good.
refer to the
Book one.
first book. But I love it because it's such a fun way to just add so much flavor and texture. Yeah.
Excellent.
And you don't have to always use it, but if you do use it, I use it in place of any moisture or water or anything I put in my doughs as I'm mixing them, and then add a little bit more moisture as you need.
Okay.
So, because it's going to be very, very liquidy and bubbly. And if you don't use it in a couple days, it's going to smell like beer.
Okay.
If you don't use it in about a week or so, and I've forgotten it, then it starts to turn to whiskey, I think.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Be sure you have plans to use it.
make
when you
sure
start.
you have plans to use it. So I'm just going to add 4 cups of all-purpose flour.
Okay. Very cool.
And now the correct way would be to take a knife now and what they call level off your flour. My little friend Marjorie Johnson calls me on the carpet for not doing that.
Marjorie.
Oh yeah, I love Marjorie. And it's almost Minnesota State Fair time
Yeah.
here in the Twin Cities, which means Marjorie. She's won over 2,700 ribbons.
Goodness sakes. Where would you put them all?
She has drawers
Oh my gosh.
in her kitchen, which is also made for her height. She's about 4'8", and she has the covers made to her height. But she also has this area with all these drawers you pull out, and it's all ribbons.
Wow.
Ribbons. Yep, and it's so cute because she has all these ribbons, and she won't let you forget it. No, but I love her, and she's a good friend. But if you ever are going to talk to her on the phone, you need at least about 90 minutes. You got to charge your cell phones or iPhones. And her emails are about 5 pages long, and she sends them at
Oh my
about,
gosh.
I think it was one day I got an email and she sent it at 2 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Inquisitive little gal.
Up all hours.
Yes. So we have our flour, and then I'm going to add 1 packet of yeast.
Okay.
Any kind of yeast that you have. I also really like going to the co-op and getting baker's yeast.
Oh.
I bring my own container,
Okay.
put the yeast in there, and then take that home. It's so yummy.
Cool.
Now, I'm going to use my fingers. I'm going to take off my bracelet and use my fingers to mix the yeast in with, and just kind of claw it in.
Cool.
Get that all clawed in. And then I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of salt.
Excellent.
This is really going to give it a lot of flavor.
Cool.
But you don't want to throw your salt on top of the yeast because salt can kill yeast. So I want to mix that also into the flour, and then we're going to start adding our water. And as I tell everyone, add the lesser amount. It's usually about anywhere from a half a cup to a full cup of water, and depends on your environment. So if you have a really humid day, you'll use less water.
Oh,
If
interesting.
it's really dry, like in July, and you've got your forced heater air on, you're going to need a lot more water. And then I'm just going to keep rolling my fingers in and mixing the water, the moisture in with our dough or our flour. And then I'm going to be feeling it with my fingers. Do I need more water? And yes, I do. Always add the lesser amount.
Okay.
Because it's impossible to take it away. Just don't want to go there. But this is a great dough. This one recipe will make 4 12-ounce or 12-inch pizza doughs.
Wow.
And you can, once it's made and risen and all ready to go, you can break it into 4 pieces and then wrap them tightly in plastic and refrigerate. Or, again, you can also put it in the freezer. So you can go to work that morning, bring out your pizza dough from the freezer, and it'll be ready in a room temperature when you are ready to make your pizza when you come home from work.
And you know, this pizza's flavor is so much better than
Oh gosh,
the
yeah.
frozen store-bought ones I used to.
Right.
You know, the
But
flavor is so
if
good.
you have to, again, store-bought's not a sin.
That's fine.
However, and we've had 26 days of extreme heat and humidity, and there was no way I was turning on my oven.
No.
As you can see, the humidity is a bit much. But now, as you can see, my hand's all doughy, which is okay, so I'm going to take a little flour,
Okay.
and I'm going to just start getting some of that off, and then we're going to put it on our little top and knead it. And I'll show you some really good secrets for kneading.
Excellent.
So I'm going to pour this out now, and then what little extra I have in there. Also, with your dough,
Yeah.
if you do freeze it and bring it out, and bring it to room temperature, you're thawing it, you want to make sure it's at room temperature, because if your dough is cold at all, you roll it out and put your toppings on and then into the oven or grill, that's when you get the big bubbles, if it's still cold. And what's going to happen is it'll bubble up and all your toppings will end up on the bottom of your oven burning on your
Nice.
grill. Now, as I'm kneading this, this will
Okay.
help you
Yeah.
not have hand or finger fatigue. So utilize both hands. A lot of people do this and use their fingers, you're gonna get finger fatigue so bad.
Okay.
And or carpal tunnel.
Sure. All in one.
Pull it over, use both hands, palm, palm, push out away from you. Over, palm, palm, push out.
It can last a lot longer.
Oh gosh, yeah. And you're using both hands and you won't fatigue so fast.
Cool.
And as you feel it's going to be sticky, just put a little more flour down. Yep, and just pull that over. And just keep doing this because what we want is the gluten factor to start going on.
Okay.
So this isn't for those with gluten-free issues. Sorry to say. I just have to grab a little. Here we go.
Man.
Hey, this
Sorry,
is-
we're cooking the cook.
That's
The
okay.
chef here.
But that
I can
happens.
see how you, when you use your body like that, you can last a whole lot
Oh
longer.
yeah. Well, I would watch my grandmothers do this. My
Okay,
great grandmother,
sure.
my regular grandmother, and they had these huge triceps
Oh my
and arms
gosh.
and biceps. Yeah. So look at photos of like your great grandmothers, and they had these huge arms.
We know how they got that way.
Well, they made the bread every day for the families, and usually like the hired hands and everybody.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was really quite amazing. But you don't want to do it incorrectly so that it becomes, oh, my fingers are aching, my hands are aching. And again, I'm just taking my shoulders and I'm pushing out and using my weight, which is ample. So
Me too. We're there.
there.
But might as well make use of it.
Now, I'm just going to pull this
Okay,
open
cool.
so you can see this webbing. That's the gluten
See on there?
factor.
I think you can see.
And that's what you want. You can see it's starting to get webby. That gluten factor thing is healthy.
Oh, okay.
And that, as Martha would say, is a good thing. So, we're just going to give it a couple more kneads,
Sure.
and I'll show you our little testing method. So there's our ball. Did you notice how I pressed down? And
It comes right back.
yeah, that's the gluten also.
Oh, okay.
And so it's just poke your finger in, and you'll
Oh,
see
neat.
that's ready.
Wow.
So now we
cool.
want that to
That
raise.
wasn't very long.
No, we want that to raise for a little bit.
Okay.
And you're going to see a lot of people will say, well, wrap that up, put it in a clean bowl, blah, 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 blah. This is what my grandma taught me. There, now we walk away.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. That's wonderful.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
And it's so easy. That's why I was making so many pizzas at El Fuji, you know, when we were there. It's like, this is really not that hard to do. I just love this.
Sorry.
Oh, who cares? Okay, we'll get the cake out.
All right.
Bye, Al. This one? It's still hot, hopefully.
I feel
Darn.
pretty and witty and gay. Oh, so pretty. Ooh.
That's very nice. La 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 la.
Whenever you're ready.
Hi, John Michael Lerma.
Hello.
How are you in the great outdoors?
I love it. It's so beautiful, and I'm covered in flowers.
Flowers.
And I
just
should
like
be
the
wearing.
garden.
I know. I should be wearing white, but oh well.
Oh, well. What's going on here?
Well, we made our Tuscan tomato sauce.
Yes.
And that's cooled down, and
What
it's
does that smell
looking beautiful.
Oh, yum.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yes.
And so we have that. And I have made mine chunky. Like I said, I like chunkier.
I do too.
And then our dough has been rising.
Super.
And so now we're going to put it all together and make rosemary, Italian salami, and mascarpone cheese pizza.
Oh, man. That's got to be a winner.
And so our dough has been rising nicely.
Ooh.
And we have this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dough.
Yes. Wow.
And it's so pliable and easy to work with. And so I'm going to break it in two.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, you can make 4 12-inch, 12-ounce pizzas. So, put those back.
Excellent.
Keep them under cover so they don't
So
dry
that
out.
one recipe for
Yeah.
crust. Excellent.
Yep. Now, if you want little individual size, you could make 6 little
Okay,
mini pizzas.
for a little mini.
Individual. Yep. So I'm just going to pull out to the sides slowly.
Okay.
And I just kind of cup under and pull that out. We're not going to be throwing pizza dough today.
No.
Or we'll find it in your trees on top of the dogs or a neighbor. And I've got, again, I'm using my Silpat silicone nonstick liner, and I'm going to roll out on that.
Excellent.
And I'm going to put a lot of flour on this. Now this one, unlike a pie crust, the flour won't hurt the taste or the texture.
Okay.
And I'm using my rolling pin, again, my French rolling pin, and I'm starting in the center and pulling out. And then I'm going to push out.
Wow.
Because what's going to happen, it's going to fight us. The gluten and the yeast are fighting us, so it's going to stretch back.
I see that.
And so we're going to push out,
Kitchen
and that's
door.
okay. Now, because we're not pressing out with our hands, we are degassing some of it. So it's not going to be the thicker, chewy.
Okay.
But this will be thinner, and we'll have a more crispy outside, and then a nice chewy inside.
Oh. Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm just going to keep rolling from the center.
Sadie, why don't you roll over there?
And
From the
Sadie's saying,
center
"I
and
want
out.
pizza.
Yeah,
I
it
want
smells
pizza."
really good. I don't blame her.
And so again, if it pulls back, not a problem. This should be now pliable enough where you can just pick it up and keep pulling it over and rolling it out.
Cool.
And then you can do it in rounds, but in the entire time I was in Italy, I've never seen a round pizza.
Oh.
And most of the time, they're rectangular, square, or something. And because we're going to put it on the grill, now you can do this in the oven or in the grill, and I'm going to put it on a piece of parchment paper.
Okay.
And I love parchment paper for this. You can get this at any store. And a lot of people think, well, won't that burn? At 800 degrees it will, but right now we're going to be doing around 400, 425
Excellent.
on the grill, and it'll turn black in certain corners, what have you.
But that's about it.
That's it. But this puts a nice layer between the grill and the pizza. And sometimes I'll put some cornmeal on here just to give it a nice crunchy crust or bottom. I'm going to pick up my dough and I'm going to lay it on my parchment. And then I'm going to take my Tuscan tomato sauce
Tuscan tomato sauce.
and drain off a little of the juice. And I'm going to start in the middle and start pushing out. Now you want to leave a good 1/2 inch border.
Okay.
And if you do that, then you won't have pizza sauce all over
Okay.
your pan, your grill, your oven, your what have you. And then just take your ladle and push out. And you don't have to do a lot
Okay. Good pointers.
because you have a lot of flavor there.
Now.
This is one of my favorites. I had the deli slice up some Italian salami for me.
Ooh.
And you can be as creative as you want. You can just lay them down in sheets if you want. I like to fold them in half and put on the pie or on the dough and sauce.
It looks fancier that way.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh gosh, you always dress up your food a little bit. Even when I make a sandwich, I like to do this to my, deli meats or something. Even if I'm doing Oscar Mayer bologna, just dress it up a bit. Yes, I love bologna.
Oh yeah, me too.
I grew up on bologna. I love the stuff.
Look how fancy that looks.
Yeah, and it's so fun. And I love salami. Another thing brought with me from the farm in North Dakota.
Oh yes. Oh,
There.
wonderful.
Then I'm going to take some of your fresh rosemary here.
Oh sure.
And this is such a delight to do.
Don't you love real herbs?
Oh, I just love
Oh,
it. And I'm going to pull off a couple pieces and just take some of the little rosemary leaves, and especially fresh. If you don't have fresh, dried is good,
yeah.
but this fresh is so fantastic.
You had a suggestion for me to have that garden inside, that
Yes.
Arrow 3 garden. And
Yes.
now they've got an herb garden set I'm going to get this fall. So I'll have
fun.
herbs in my house all winter long.
Oh, how fun.
I'll let you know how that goes.
Oh gosh, yes. And also, one of the things you want to do is tear the leaves with your fingers because it releases the oils. There's all this wonderful oil in here, and that's what gives it all its fragrance and taste. And so by tearing those apart, you're getting that in there.
Wonderful.
You don't need very much because it's potent.
It smells so
It's really potent. It's great.
It's wonderful.
It's great. It's so potent. And now this is mascarpone cheese.
Oh.
It's a soft cheese, kind of almost like a cream cheese from Italy that is so
Wow.
phenomenal. And of course, I forget to bring knives with me and stuff. That's always so handy. And you can see they make sure it's secure.
Yes. Keeps it fresh.
Yes, oh, so
If
fresh.
you can get to it.
Let's try. Yes. Oh, I got a hole.
Perfect.
There.
We're in
Yay.
business.
And you can use a spoon or you can use your fingers. It's very soft and gooey, but I like
Okay.
to just drop it in little clumps.
Excellent.
And this stuff is so good. I have made whipped toppings with this. I've made Roman cheesecakes with this.
Ooh.
And then as a pizza topping, it's phenomenal.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah, and this, again, so incredibly easy and simple. There. So we have that. I'm sorry, I don't have a towel. And now, that's so attractive, isn't it?
Isn't that beautiful? It is actually beautiful. I love it.
I have a pizza peel, which is this wooden pizza peel. This
Okay.
takes your pizza in and takes it out, and it's a very handy device.
Nice.
I'm going to put it on the grill,
Okay.
and again, you can either, if you got really good wrist action, slide it on in there.
How easy.
Yep.
Very
and then
cool.
we'll close that
Close
up
it up.
in about
And you're trying to do
12 minutes.
425,
Yeah.
something about that. 12
Right.
minutes or so?
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have this,
Okay.
if you don't have a pizza peel,
Yeah.
you can use a cutting board, a flat cutting board, or the back of a cookie sheet.
Oh, sure.
And I'm going to show you, this is really handy when we take this off. The other thing is, once we take it off, we can cut a slice of our pizza. Oh, it's great for serving.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. It
Yeah.
looks professional, too.
Yep, so we just need about 12, 14 minutes. It'll be set.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, we are set. It's been about 12 minutes or so, and our pizza's ready. So I've got our pizza peel, and we're gonna take our
Ooh,
pizza off.
look at that,
Look
everybody.
bubbling away. Isn't that pretty?
Ooh.
You can see our crust is being crusty on the outside, but it's still nice and chewy. And this is the beauty of having one of these peels, but also your parchment paper. your parchment paper doesn't conduct heat.
Wow,
So I can
fascinating.
pick this up and help it on here.
Sweet. Yeah.
And
Oh la la.
we can take this off.
Oh. Ooh.
And we have our pizza.
Wow.
Isn't that fun?
Yes. Easy, but so unique.
Yeah, and then I give it a couple minutes, and then we just take a pizza, cut it, and you can cut right on here. And then this is great for, especially if you're doing this outdoors too, because then you can even serve it. And then that's it.
Wow.
And you have this
Excellent.
wonderful slice of pizza. Is that great?
Get a little close up.
Sure.
Say cheese.
Cheese or formaggio.
Formaggio.
Italian
Formaggio.
for cheese. Yeah, and as I said, again, you cut this up, and then you can just pass this around to people.
Oh, fun.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So wonderful pizza, and this will feed about 8 to 10 people. Very quickly, you're going to have to make more.
Yeah, of course.
Love pizzas.
Wonderful. Well, thanks a lot for sharing
You're
us
so
everything
welcome.
today, okay?
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Smells divine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
We're going.
Oh, it's recording.
Yes.
Is the other one recording too?
Yes.
Well, hold on, man. I have all my stuff ready. Dude. Okay. Knives. Okay. I need the toothpick.
You're watching the Nancy Boys.